Hi there, welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine. I have a flip through today of a sweet journal, rather timely since it's spring in my neck of the woods, from a 1960s children's book called Here Come the Bees. It's a really cute book. And this might be one of the prettiest covers on a book that I've ever had the pleasure of making a journal out of. The illustrations of the bees going in and out of the honeycomb is just stunningly beautiful. It's so pretty. This book, like I said, 1960, so let me make sure I'm centered here. There we go. So it's about 61 years old. Let's measure because I forget. So it's about 6 inches across and about not quite 7.5 inches long. And then it is not quite 2 inches thick. It's about 1 3/4 inches thick. Now, this was a very small book when I first got it. In fact, this is the original spine. I'll be sending this along with the book to the new owner. And you may want to have fun with that, use it somewhere in the book, make a bookmark out of it. Since you'll be an official junk journaler then, you'll come up with something fun to do with the spine. That shows you how big it was. It was about 1/2 inch thick. So I created a new curved spine for this journal. I thought flowers was rather appropriate for bees. And I also thought that since it was such lovely colors of yellow and white with some black, that the black and the yellow would go with the bee theme. You're going to see a lot of lace. I went kind of lace crazy, but it really, I just think it really makes this journal so beautiful. I've left all the threads on. I like that. If you don't enjoy that, just trim those off. They've already all been double knotted and secured, so you can just clip them really close and be gone with them if that's not your thing. So let's take a look inside. You're going to see a lot of the original pages repurposed and put back into the book. The ones that I didn't get to use, oh, hold on, I'll be sending along to the new owner so that if you want to still continue making journaling tags or anything that you want to do with them, the extra pages will go. And also I had some little leftovers left over, and I'll send those along too. It's nice to have sort of a little starting stash sometimes when you get going on a junk journal. So you'll see here on the first page, the original first page, where it says 1960, which is just wonderful to be able to have the copyright date. I used one of the pages from the text block to create end papers for this book. The original end papers were just plain white. So you'll see now there's beautiful end papers that are actually from the book. And every once in a while, you'll see some little bees that I've added from a napkin that I have that has bumblebees on it. And I've just put them here and there throughout the book. So just keep your eye out for them. As I said, there'll be black, yellow, and white laces throughout. So when we open first the page, I've made a pocket from one of the original illustrations of the book, and I created a tag to go in it. And I thought, what's more perfect with bees than flowers? So, and I tried in the background every once in a while to tuck some little bee words onto the collaging that I did. And again, there's another one of those little bees from the napkin of bees. And there's journaling room on the back and tea-dyed paper. Any paper in here that's been tea-dyed, I've done the tea dyeing myself. And needless to say, as with all of the Sunnyside journals, just about everything in this book has come from a repurposed source. So that could be a thrift store, garage sale, antique store, book sales, rummage sales, yard sales. From what I can recall in putting this together, there's a few strips of washi tape in it that are new, and this bulldog clip right here is new. Otherwise, these have come from repurposed sources. Some things that may look new, I could possibly have received in Happy Mail. So that's allowed too. So tea-dyed paper here, you're going to see lots of room for your own journaling. Lots of pages out of other children's books on bees of varying kinds, not just honeybees. Here you'll see a bumblebee on pussy willows. And of course, gardens. When you've got flowers, there's usually bees around. This is from a gardening journal. More bees. This yellow paper that's throughout it, I tea-dyed myself. And I thought a little scalloped edge would look pretty. Other sides of the children's books on bees. This is also from the original text block, as is this one. And more lace sewn on, lots of sewing in this book. I fortified the folds on the original pages. They needed some help, just with music. Here's a little tuck spot that I created from another children's book. And I created a journaling tag. You can see this little fellow. It says good morning, and he's got his breakfast already to go. And there's journaling space on the back. Here's some music from a vintage children's piano book with a song called The Bee. This illustration was from the original text block. There was a sailor underneath. There was a picture of a sailor, and I thought, no, I need a bee. So this is from the original text block. And here's another one of our little bumblebees from the napkin. This is from a gardening journal. And again from a children's book on bumblebees. This book has 148 pages of varying sizes in it. Again, original pages from the original text block. This is from another vintage science book, a Wonder Science book, and I believe it's from the 1960s. Another little bumblebee down there. This is genuine vintage ledger paper that I just got this week, so it came just in time to be able to go into this journal. I thought, oh, it's yellow. It belongs in here. I just love this edging. Isn't that gorgeous? This is the other side of that children's science book. Here's a little envelope that I've sewn on, and you'll see that there's a little bee there. And if you open it up, inside is a little vintage card that has a little bumblebee flying around the flowers with the butterfly. And then it just says, gee, you're nice. And that just hides in there. And then the end can just tuck behind the bee so that you can open and close it. And then it's also a pocket in behind, and I've put another tag that I made. Here's another little fella who's found his breakfast. This is from a book I have on vintage matchbox artwork. And that was a matchbox, I forget which country it was from, that had a bee on it. So I thought that was appropriate. And then bees are little, so I just put a tag on it that says little. You can tuck whatever you like in the back there. I've just put that tag there. Oh, and there's room on the back for journaling, of course. I added some flowers here and there in this book because, you know, they go hand in hand with bees. More lace along the side. I doubled up this lace. I just thought it looked pretty with a little background behind it. And more bumblebees. This is tea-dyed stationery. So again, with the lavender and flowers, I thought that was appropriate. Here's a spread from a guest book. I love putting those in the center of books. And then I just included, so that you can tuck things wherever you want, there's a little bit of extra tea-dyed paper and a little bulldog clip with just a little delicate ribbon up there. I didn't want to go too fancy on this because I felt like the cover and these laces were already stunning enough. Another little bee down there. Some more bees. I had so much fun making this book, and I've had it half made for about a year. I'm not ever glad I found it when I was cleaning up my room, because I thoroughly enjoyed finishing this book. Here's a little tuck pocket that I put onto the bottom of a page out of a 1950s encyclopedia with the chapter on pets and hobbies with bees as the first one. And then I made just a little journaling card from another encyclopedia picture, old encyclopedia, and you can just journal on that and tuck it in there. This is from the original Here Come the Bees book with some sewing around the edge. And again, more pages from a book on bees. Lots of room for you. More bees. And more. And then here's another pocket I created from the original text block. And I just tucked a little music note card in there. And I created a little tab from more children's books on bees. Pocket again created from an illustration from the original text block. I tucked a couple things in there. There's an old tea-dyed Rolodex card with just a flower stamp on it. And then another journaling tag that I've made. And you can see in the back there's the section on honey from a dictionary. And there's a Canada stamp. I just got that this week too on some Happy Mail. And it's got a little bumblebee on some clover. And tea-dyed paper on the back for journaling. I love this card. I've been saving this card for as long as I'd been planning on and saving this book. Isn't that pretty? Beautiful little queen bee right there with her crown. And that's journaling space. Or if you want, and I've left it up to the new owner, you can run a little bead of glue along two sides and close it up, and it becomes a pocket. So I've left that up to you. This also came in Happy Mail this week. I had quite a Happy Mail week, and I just thought, well, bees and butterflies kind of go together with flowers, so I put that up there. And here's another tag that I created. There's a little bit of collaging here. This fabric is the fabric that you'll notice is in behind that helped me to recreate the spine for this book. So there's little honeybees on it and some lace and a button. Here's some more of the washi tape that actually is new. But everything else, I find it at thrifted sources. You can see some of that bee and honey fabric back there. And I'll send some little snippets along too when this book goes to its new home. This is from another gardening journal, and it flips out. And there's another little bumblebee down there. More lace everywhere. I just love this. This is some stationery that had daisies and bumblebees on it. And again, flowers. I just thought some nice big bright flowers would look nice on the pages that have printing on them. And then you can finish collaging whatever you want on there. Here's a tuck spot that I created from the one of the original illustrations from the book, A Beekeeper's Hive. And I made it into a pocket. And here's another tag that I just put in there. This is from a napkin that, again, I got in Happy Mail. Tea-dyed paper on the back. I love how that turned out. And then, of course, it's not a Sunnyside journal unless there is a Tunana's bookmark in there. So that's this little journal. You'll see here the curved spine that I created for it There's a little bit of lace up here. It's flower petals, but more than a few people now have mentioned in comments on videos that it almost looks like bee wings. There's a little bit at the top and at the bottom of this journal. So thank you so much for joining me for this flip through. This journal will be available in my Etsy shop. The link is down below, probably within about the next half an hour or so. So depending on what time this video gets uploaded onto YouTube, watch for it within about half an hour to 30 minutes, and it will be in my Etsy shop and available. And if you feel like it, you can go over and take a look-see and see if this is the journal for you. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.